Hello, this is going to be a video on disassembling and replacing the wireless card on the original Xbox One model. I'm not too sure how similar the S and the Xbox One X model are to this, but this is the unit we're going to be disassembling. The reason I am going to be replacing my wireless card and the antenna actually is because if the wireless card is damaged, it can affect your ability to connect to networks as well as even just using your wireless controller. So if you are having issues with wireless hardware, if you're getting a notification when testing out your network settings that there is a hardware issue, chances are the damage is to the wireless card. Or if you're not having very much range at all, which is my main problem, where my wireless controller will connect but it won't pick up any routers or network devices to connect to. That's an issue with the antenna connecting to the wireless card, or it could just be the wireless card being broken itself, so it doesn't have very much range. So this will help you if you need to fix that, if you're willing to strip it, of course. Now, one thing to note about stripping it is that it will void the warranty. There is a sticker on the back of the unit here, which you can see mine's not sticking on properly anymore, or if you rip it, or if it's hanging loose, people will know that you've tampered with it. So if it is in warranty, you're better off just seeing if you can get it repaired for free. But most people shouldn't have to worry about that because this unit is quite old now. But for stripping it, a couple of things you'll need: a spudger or a small flathead screwdriver, a T8 torque screwdriver. You'll be needing that if you want to strip the inside of the metal casing, which you'll see later. You won't need to do that if you just need to replace the wireless card or just fix the antenna. And for actually getting the wireless card out, you will need a T9 torque screwdriver. The other thing you'll probably want, so I've got my replacement wire and card here. The other things you'll want is a couple of tubs just for screws, just to keep them separate. These are from the metal casing on the inside. That'll become apparent later on. I'll show you where they got them from. There's actually still a couple left inside. Now, as you can probably tell, the fact that the camera is shaking a little bit is because I am using a phone to record this. Part of the reason I'm doing that, because I want to get in close and show the details, and because there is a couple of things that you will want to watch out for. And personally, I've seen a couple of videos about disassembling this and they've not shown much detail close up, where the camera's like all the way up here and you can't see. So I want to try and get in nice and close, so you have to bear with us on that. Right, we'll get started. This first part of the video as well, I will mention, I'll just do this video on disassembling it, and then I'll do a second video on reassembling it, just to keep things simple and separated. I will also try to include a timestamp for starting now. So, from the left hand side of the console, there's this grill along here. Just want to stick your screwdriver in the side and just pry that off. That'll come right off with your finger. Just pull that off. Take that to one side. And there's this black clip here that'll just slide off if you just push on it with your thumb. Just sits on a rail. Put that to one side. Now, what we're going to do here is take the top part and the faceplate off of the outer case. Now, this is one of the things you want to watch out for. It's the main thing, in fact, you want to watch out for really, is there is a blue ribbon that is attached to the face on the inside. This blue ribbon is to do with the touch sensor, how you turn the Xbox on and open the disc tray, etc. When you take this off, do not rip it away from the console, because you don't want to rip the ribbon because it's still attached. You just want to be careful. I will also get the camera in nice and close so you can actually see how to take it off properly, because I've seen, the main reason I'm doing this video is because I've seen a bunch of other videos disassembling it and they don't show how to take the ribbon off properly. They just do it and then they go, yeah, just be careful. So I'll show you how to do it properly. So to get the top case separated, this bit here, you just want to push on it with your thumb, just try and lift it, and it'll become separated slightly from the bottom. You can see it's moving a bit there. Right, hopefully that doesn't click back in. I'll just let that go. Now what you want to do is, while holding this up, stop it from clicking back in, you want to pry open the top part off, along here, bugger, I'll just click back in, along here and along the top. It's actually quite easy to get off. So lift that up, I put the camera down, I'm going to make sure you get a good angle of this. There we are. So with one hand I'm just going to hold that up, hold this side bit off, and then I'm just going to pry along here, there. And you'll see, I'll move the camera a bit, that will just, if you just push it off slightly, just lifts right off. Once that's loose, what you want to do is just, oh, whoops, there we go. Nearly thought I clicked that back in. Okay, so once that's loose off the back, you just want to lift it. Now this is the part where you want to make sure you don't rip the faceplate off. Now I wouldn't worry too much about this, because really you need to rip it off quite a bit away from the console. So just, if you're careful, you'll be alright. So just lift it up from the back or the sides. What we're actually doing is lifting it, the faceplate's attached along the bottom here. And you're just pulling it forward this way, just towards you, so that it will actually come off. The faceplate will still be attached to the top part of the outer casing. So just lift it from the back, from the sides. It will eventually just pry off of the front. There. You can see that's loose now. Now this is when I don't, there. Slurring my words a bit there. This is where I want to get the phone in, so you can actually see what I'm doing here with the blue ribbon I mentioned earlier. So, just trying to make sure you get a good shot of this. So if you just lift the faceplate up, you see that's it there. Oh, of course it slides off. This is the blue ribbon I was talking about. This here. What it's actually held on by this white clip. And to get it off, on the left side, you just want to lift it with your finger, so the left of the blue ribbon is nice and loose and flat on there, so it just sits over the white part. That part's important. Once it's nice and loose, this little bit on the right hand side of the white block, this actually slides out. Doesn't come off altogether, but it does go loose. You'll see as I move it out. This is the thing that most people don't mention for some reason, even though it's important. So, you push that out. You can just use your fingers if you want, but it was a little bit difficult if I'm honest. So just make sure that's nice and loose over the top, and push that out. It won't go any further at one point, it'll just get stuck there. Now, you might be able to see as I slide it out here. I'll use my left hand so you can see. I pull that out, and under the blue ribbon itself, it sits underneath the white block a little bit. That's the bit we're pulling out. You just slide it out with your finger. Plus it's stuck along the top. Oh, well, I didn't mean to pass it out that quick. Hang on, bring it back down. So, and I'll show you from the faceplate. Yes, that blue ribbon is attached to the faceplate here. It just, once you get it off the white plate, it just slides out quite easily. On the reassembly, on the second video, I'll show you how to get that back in. It's a little bit fiddly, but honestly, it's quite easy to get back in once you know what you're doing. So, just put that one side. Right. Now, this is the inside here. And I'll have to answer that phone later if you can hear that. Apologies. Now, this is the wireless card. Probably can't see it, but along here it's actually dented slightly. So I'm suspecting that's why I need to replace it. I'm not really sure how that happened, but it is. And for me, this wire is the antenna, and this isn't connecting in properly. It actually just lifts right off if you just put your fingernails on it. Just clicks on and off that little white block there. That block there. Mine's very loose for some reason. When I first opened it up, this wire was actually off. Again, I'm not even sure what happened to my console, but that's what happened. Along the frame, the wire is held in by some teeth clips. You can just about see it. I've lifted the teeth off a little bit on that one, apart from one tooth. I'll take that off now so you can see it, but it's just teeth grips. You just need to gently pry them open. They won't snap very easily. Oh, apologies, you can't see that there. Try and focus the camera. Right, you can just about see them. Small teeth, should be 4 of them. You can just open the metal casing and remove the clips from there, but honestly, if you're going to replace the wire, you're better off just removing the teeth off the wire, and then it just comes off, and you just sit the new wire back in and close the teeth back on the wire. There's 2 of them. There's that one there. Focus the camera a bit. There's one here. I've actually removed that one already as well. Little teeth. This side of the antenna attaches to the faceplate. It's the same with the other end. It just pops off. Just give it a little bit of a twist. There you go. I'm gonna take that off to one side. And this part here is the speaker, which actually, this is where the sound comes from. That makes when you turn the Xbox One on, if you have that setting on, or when you open the disc tray. You don't have to remove this, but if you do want to get inside this metal case, you will want to remove this from the faceplate. Same with the antenna. Just because this metal casing is separate from the front. For the sake of demonstration, I'm going to show you how it just pulls out. Just give it a little bit of a wiggle. There you are. Just let that sit on the top, because it is attached to that. Now, for getting the wireless card off, so let me sit a bit closer. You'll want to use your T9 torque screwdriver on this screw here and that screw there. I'll show you get them off. They'll just twist right out. One thing to notice as well, note, put them in your pot as well, is when you take these 2 screws off, do not just rip this off, because it is attached on this part here underneath. You'll see that shortly. I'll mention that now before anyone gets ahead of themselves. These are only short screws, just the 2 of them. Right, you just want to gently wiggle that off. You want to try and
lift it off from this end if you can, but it's a bit difficult to get your hands in there. So just gently wiggle it off, it will come out. There you are. As you can see, that bit there just connects into there. Let's put that to one side as well. To actually get in further, you need to be removing these screws here. The ones I had from the beginning. These are quite long ones. You can see that they've got a round, like almost like a washer on the end. So you know which ones to take out. Anything with a C and a number next to it is where the screws are. So you see this one's here on C3. There's a C8. I took that one out already. That's a P, so ignore that. There shouldn't be anything in there. There's one here, C2. And I'll just pull the camera back and I'll actually point to you where all of the screws are. So, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there. That's the one I haven't took out yet. One there, one there. That one, ignore that. There shouldn't be anything in there. And bottom right, there's one here as well, which I haven't took out yet as well. I have took it out, but I've just left them back in just for the demonstration, so you can actually see me take them out. So, you take your T8. If your T8 does struggle, use your T9. You will feel a bit of slackness when you pull them out. But if your screwdriver is struggling, just use a different one. So you want to be careful with these. You don't want to ruin the head. That's part of the reason why you need the T torque screwdrivers. They're very specific heads of these. You don't want to be using a normal screwdriver because you will, if you damage the heads, chances are you're either going to damage the screw head and not be able to get them out in the first place, or you'll not be able to get them back in. So you do want to try and get a torque screwdriver specifically for these. Take that as well. And when you do take this metal part of the unit out, when you lift it up, don't rip it off either, because again there is also something attached to it, which is in this corner. This little white block here, there's actually a wire that runs from this to further down in the unit, so you don't want to rip it off again. That's something to watch out for. Give that a bit more of a screw. One interesting thing as well is that well, I say interesting, you'll probably be quite surprised about how dusty these get as well, because of the open vents on the top. But I keep mine surprisingly quite clean, and mine was still surprisingly very dirty. So if you want to give it a clean, you can. So once you've got all those screws out, just want to lift up the frame. There's this little tab here. It doesn't really matter too much, but it does sit on top of the foam here. You see as I lift it up, it just slides right over it. Just a little bit of foam. If you do just leave it sitting on top, it just, I don't know. You can have it sitting back on the way it was. I think it's just better to put things back the way it was. I don't think it matters too much, but yep. Just lift up the frame there, and you can see inside. And right at the back there, it's part of where the wireless card sits in. You can see that wire there. That will pull out on the bottom here, but for this video I'm not going to strip it any further than this. But this is just mainly for the sake of replacing and fixing the wireless. But if you want to open it up and give it a bit of a clean, you can as well. Just be careful when you clean it in here. Obviously you don't want to break anything, but yes. And that'll do it for part 1. I'll do a second video which should be considerably shorter on how to put it back together. I'll also put in my new wireless card, just so you can see. If you have any questions, just feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer anything that anyone has, any questions that anyone has, and I think that will be it.
hopefully I've helped someone out, and hopefully it's been worth it actually having a camera recording and shaking about all over the place. Okay, thank you.